Well, ahoy, everybody. Welcome to Discourse Syndicate redo of PLS 369 Vegas. I am the captain, your captain, RG3. We had a live stream scheduled for the Vegas event, the Pulse 369 event, and we had some technical difficulties, a couple of them. We had an internet issue. We weren't able to push internet out of the building like we would have liked to. And we had two solutions. We had redundancy and it still didn't work. Then we ended up having my 18-year-old soundboard die on us in the middle of it. So sound, internet, it was a mess. But we have invested in new equipment and we're ready to go, all ready for next year. So it's going to be good. Everything's fine. So what we decided to do with this panel, because it was a popular panel, everybody seemed to like it. And it was one of the ones that got really messed up. So we'd like to bring it to everybody live here after the event. Maybe even better because we have a little more time to think about it. We already have had these questions, asked and answered. So maybe we'll even get a little deeper into it. Yes, we missed those of you who didn't show up or couldn't make it. Maybe next year, next season, after this next bull run, maybe we'll get more people there. But it was a very successful event. We filled up the seats. We had the oh boy, now my internet's acting up. Is it? You know what it is? I got a kid in my house that is programming AI and he's probably downloading he's building his own programs and stuff. But anyway, hopefully I'll get this to square away here in a minute. I'll go off camera and yell and scream upstairs and say, hey, you should turn that shit off. But anyway, so I'm going to bring up the panel that was with us at the PLS 369 event. For those of you who didn't get to attend, or for those who attended and want to see it again, here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Cryptopians, Hexicans, I bring you panel and flip this over. We have our good Twinkie. What happened there? Fast Abdoul, Crypto Gaphix, and the Ascending Man, our buddy from the DGen Roundtable. How's it going, guys? Okay, let's see if we can do some of this here. Make it look like everybody is looking at one another. There we go. What's happening, fellas? How y'all doing?
Good. It's been a bit of a crazy day, but we are moving forward.
Nice.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having us back, Captain.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, glad to be able to redo this one because this was a really good panel. It was a really good conversation. Unfortunately, it was only the people who had attended live that were able to truly hear it, which, is one of the perks that you get for attending the conference, right? But yeah, in this particular case, we wanted to share it out to you, everybody out here. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to being able to talk about this again.
And by the way, we are having the rest of the stream that we did capture a bunch of it. We did fix some of the audio, and we are going to be loading that up. I think it's already actually been loaded up, and you can now see that if you'd like. The rest of the Pulse 369 event is going to be made available to you. We did record it. We weren't able to live stream it, but we did record it, so it'll be there for you. Yeah, so that's that. First of all, I wanted to thank all of you guys. Twinkie, thanks for coming out and participating. Appreciate you. It was awesome having you guys there. Also, Fast Abdoul for supporting us in a big way. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Can't say enough about the Ascending Man out there, taping down wires, Captain yelling and screaming at him to swab the decks and all that, and did it with a smile on his face and didn't get thrown overboard or walk the plank. Appreciate you, man, and all the hard work that you and your lovely bride did. Couldn't have done it without you. Really, I couldn't.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And you weren't that loud when you were screaming at me. I mean, come on now.
A couple of people got my wrath, but and of course, Cryptographic, thank you for attending and putting your 2 cents in. Always appreciated. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get the panel started here so that we can start discussing our subject at hand. And what this subject was onboarding onto the new blockchain revolution was the title. And it's about investing and building, and what you guys, what your best answers to these questions are. So I'll go ahead and just kind of moderate, jump in here and there, and let you guys answer because that's what people really want to hear. So the first question is, what are some of the biggest barriers? Hold on a second. I think, do I have something on? I'm being held in the back room. Oh, okay. I'm not sure. Okay. Sorry, guys. Let's jump into the first question here. I guess oh boy.
Hopefully no mic issues like last time.
Well, if it's an issue with your mic, everybody sounds good. No, you all sound fine.
I think my mic's good. I think it's my internet is a little shoddy. But anyway, so the first question is, what are some of the biggest barriers to entry for newcomers looking to invest or build in the blockchain space?
You want me to take this one first?
Go for it, Nate.
Have at it. You spoke first.
All right, here we go. So the biggest barriers to newbies when you're onboarding them, the biggest barrier is, in my opinion, it's the way people view. Yeah, it's the way that people view crypto. And when you're sitting there telling someone it's okay, you can go ahead and get a centralized exchange, it's the same sort of deal, KYCing and everything that, say, like an E-Trade account would be, right? People feel safe with that. But the second you start talking to people about, well, you need to go get this wallet, that wallet, but be very careful with the one that you're downloading because it could be a scam. But then you also need to remember your seed phrases and go and write all those down. Make sure that you don't do it on your computer, though, or on your phone or anything. Write them down by paper and then get that laminated or whatever. And then you go on to this decentralized platform, and you can only go to this one particular website. Like, do you see how many steps there is, how involved it is? Obviously, for the people of Pulse Chain, right? It's kind of a naughty word to say, hey, all you need to do is just get a centralized exchange and you'll be good there, right? When you're onboarding someone at first, quite frankly, making it as gentle and kind as possible, and then isn't the least amount of clicks is the best way to do it. And so, when you tell them, just get onto a centralized exchange, just, don't worry about all the other stuff, just simply get this one, Rabby wallet. And then all you need to do is just go to PulseX. Here's the link to it. Just go swap a few dollars in, right? When you're just saying it's as simple as that, you don't need to worry too much about the security. I know that a lot of us who've been in this, right, who've been balls deep into this type of DeFi, we kind of look at that and go, nah, we can't really be doing that to people because we need to try and teach them about security and becoming their own banks and all that. But I do think that there's levels to this. And I think ultimately the greatest barrier to onboarding is forgetting those levels. And so when you're like step one, just focus on step one as easy as possible and be as nice as possible. It's not scary, guys. It's not scary.
Yeah, I'll add on to that one. I think one of the things is we want to, generally speaking, to start, be directionally correct. We don't have to necessarily optimize out of the gate. I know many of us come from different walks of life, have different skill sets. You want to give the user or the person some base level of success out of the gate. So to Nate's point, that might be starting with a centralized exchange just to get them feet wet on some aspects of that. Because if you sit there, and I know a number of your viewers are going to be seasoned hands when it comes to crypto and DeFi, and they're going to be folks that are passing through that have some level of curiosity who really aren't fully into this space yet. What's a certain level of success we can give them that will enable them to hang around, continue in the space, and continue to grow with their knowledge? To Nate's point, just all the language. What the heck's a bridge? What's the difference between a CEX and a DEX? What do you mean DeFi? Like, what does that stand for? There's all this vernacular and all this explanation that goes into it. Whereas if you can just get them up and running on a very base level and say, hey, this is foundational level stuff, this is layer one type stuff, we're going to continue to build out your subject matter knowledge and expertise so you can capitalize upon further opportunities or build things out or run your own teams, build your own products in the future. But this is our fundamental starting block. We want to give them a solid foundation before we drag them off into everything else.
I'm going to zoom out a little bit and say it's fear. People outside of crypto have no idea. They just hear rumors about crypto. So it's really their own fear that is keeping them from making that leap. So they need a purpose. They need motivation. Why are they going to get into crypto? Are they going there just to make $1 million? Is that enough? Or is there another goal that they can work towards? So having expectations for why you're getting into crypto, why you're going to commit, and not just put in $500. If you're going to commit to crypto, and if you really want to make a difference in your life, then you need to have conviction that you're in it for the long run, that you're not just going to turn around on the first green candle and sell all your bags. You need to have that mindset that you want to be successful, and that you're going to make a difference in your life by committing your time to it.
I think the biggest obstacle faced by brand new people to crypto, particularly if they're looking at something like the Pulse chain, is where to go to learn. Because you can go to Google and type how do I do crypto, and you're gonna every second click is going to be a scam website, and most of the ones that aren't scams are going to be somebody selling their own narrative without not with your best interest in mind. So, to have resources to turn to be able to give people, take a look at this. Crypto Coffee offers a course. You could take this course. This is where you can learn. Here's some, less biased information where you could onboard yourself and know that you can trust what's on the screen in front of you. Or, the various private groups that we have on the Pulse chain where, you could pay a small fee and learn from, the No Permissions group with Randy Lalarski, or Dollar Cost Crypto and Cultivate Crypto, those kind of private groups where you're less likely to get intercepted by a scammer on the way in, or those kind of resources and courses where you can actually trust what's on the screen in front of you. I think those would be really important to get that sort of thing into the hands of brand new people.
Nice. I like all your answers. I think, lack of education of the fundamentals, the complexity of wallets, security issues, seed phrases, securing your seed phrases, not clicking on things that you don't know, don't put your keys in holes that you don't know where they're going into. All of those things are important. And then, when it comes to emotions, to human emotions, I think the fear of the scams and the volatility. This market is ridiculous. It's the volatility. If you can't handle an 80 or 90% swing, that's almost ludicrous to tell somebody that, hey, I want you to invest in this. I'm going to teach you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to secure it. It's very, very dangerous. There's a lot of pitfalls. And you've got to be able to be used to 80 to 90% swings. Are you good? Can we get you into crypto now? It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Right. And like us here, you've seen every meme in the world about, the crypto guy that's been in multiple seasons, a 90% dip, everybody else is screaming and yelling. And the crypto professional just sitting there going, it's just another day in the market, guys. It's blood in the streets, buy the dip, blah, 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 blah. But you got to be able to let your onboard know that there are some scary shit that's going to happen, and you've got to be able to take it, but on top of that, because it's so scary, volatile, decentralized, dangerous, the upside of it is more than beneficial to getting involved. And if you mitigate your those issues with somebody that knows what they're doing, with people like you said, like Crypto Coffee and DCC and their courses and things, you can protect yourself to a certain extent. But that doesn't. Even the best of us have been scammed or done stupid stuff. It happens to everybody. So you just have to be double checking, crossing your T's and dotting your I's. So let's jump into the next question here, since we all answered that pretty adequately. For someone new to blockchain, what are the first steps they should take to begin investing?
Okay, so I think we kind of already answered that a little bit in the last thing, but maybe I'll just reiterate it, right? Reiterate it, make it very clear. I will, again, start on a centralized exchange, Oftentimes I've had people legitimately just in a Subway, right? I'm just going to get a sandwich at break, right? And
So let me just jump in that real quick.
Yeah.
Tell the audience what do you consider a centralized exchange that is a safe centralized exchange?
So a safe centralized exchange is going to be a very large company that has the backing of a lot of different VCs. Specifically, the best ones would be like some sort of government entity. Okay. Now, obviously, that's all kind of scary sounding to people like us. Okay. However, we're again levels.
There's still
right?
no FDIC though. Remember that, guys. There's still no FDIC in crypto.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But remember, guys, there's levels. Okay. So when you get to like our level, right, that's where it's like, I want to get the government far away from me. Okay. And that's when you start getting away from centralized exchanges, things like that, and you start doing all of DeFi. However, to start somebody off, you can't just say jump into this and then have all the pitfalls just getting thrown at them a million miles an hour, right? You need them to be as safe as absolute possible. The safest place that they can be is, well, backed up by something like a government, which there'd be a lot of backlash, and it would not be good if, say, Coinbase goes down.
There you go. You said it. That's what I was trying to get you to say. Say the word. Go ahead. You can say it. Coinbase.
Yeah. Large companies.
Even no matter how decentralized you are, you still have to utilize that, right? I mean, you just said, hey, and when you get to our level, you're decentralized. But we still use things like, God forbid, Gemini or Coinbase or Binance in order to move crypto in and out of fiat. So there are other things like OX Coast that are more decentralized that we can use. And those are a little more advanced as far as, figuring them out and dealing with the pitfalls. So that's what I was trying to get you to say was go ahead and say that.
Okay. Yeah. No, just getting somebody a Coinbase account is just so easy to just start with that. And I've legitimately had it where, I would rather onboard someone into crypto and then have them learn about Pulse Chain later, rather than try to onboard them on the Pulse Chain and then them having no idea what they're doing, and then they just never touch their bags ever again. That's what I try and focus on. And so when I literally am standing in a Subway shop with just trying to get a sandwich, and I've got two guys who are asking me, hey, how's this crypto thing work? Like, how can I buy into it? I'm going to say, hey, like, here, base level, the shortest answer you can have is go to like Coinbase. You can get it right on the App Store on your phone. All right. And then what you're going to want to do is you're simply want to make an account, and then every single paycheck that you get, put like $100 in, or just a little bit of money, just throw it into Ethereum. Okay. Ethereum. There's other stuff that you can do as well. And then that's when I'll kind of go into like Pulse Chain is something cool. And I'll give them like that sort of like, hey, there's a deeper level than this. Okay. But you're not quite ready for that right now. Just go do the thing first and then start exploring later. And quite frankly, once they get that, in my mind at least, once they get that thirst of like, hey, there's something else out there, right? I can go looking for higher gains rather than just on a centralized exchange with Ethereum, usually in a bull market like this. Well, that's where I trust that some super genius like Richard Hart's going to make Pulse Chain so freaking popular that people are going to be like, hey, I remember that name once, that one guy who taught me about this. He was talking about that. I bet you he's over there. I'm going to go that direction because it'll be familiar to them. It's kind of like you're planting a seed, and then the seed starts growing.
What I like to do is, like, most of my onboards are, 40 plus men and likely in business, that sort of thing. So I like to show them the fiat comparisons to what, we have in crypto. So I'll jump into stuff like stable coins, a stable coin yield farming, right? Like, and have something like that be one of their first steps, even though there's multiple steps, because I know I can leave them there and say, just don't touch this for a while you do some more reading, right? I find that to be, and then they can see some gains. They can see like, oh, okay, I made $7 today. And I didn't lose anything because I'm just in stable coins. I find that to be a good one to help them get their mind around the process and actually come out with a small win at the very least.
All right, I got one to add on to that. I think we're talking about aspects of process, and similar to Abdoul, most of my onboards are going to be in that 30s to 40s bracket. So I have to oftentimes cover with them the why in so many words. Why crypto? Why blockchain? Why is this of interest? There's the aspect of the opportunity to improve the life, basically their livelihood, their families, loved ones' livelihoods, and or some people just like the challenge of things. So I think there's an element of reading the room on that front. So what is their motivation for this? Then we start to get into the underlying process of it. Okay, here's how you get from point A to point B. And as Nate and Abdoul indicated, there's an element of what I'm telling you to do on day one is not necessarily the kind of guidance I'm going to provide on day 1,000 as you develop the competency and familiarity with this, as you're reading, watching videos, following some of your different favorite influencers, hopefully who are not leading you astray on certain paths and the like. And so once I typically get those hurdles cleared, they start to get to a base level of competency where you kind of point them in a direction and somewhat turn them loose. Sure, I tend to wind up somewhat as like the Q&A guy / tech support for some aspects of this. Once you clear some of those basic hurdles, though, you can kind of point them in a direction and turn them loose. And so that's where I have been successful. But I would say it's reading the room, somewhat understanding who you are onboarding as an individual, not just sort of like the the underlying demographic, and then doing what you can to give them some level of a solid foundation to be successful in this space.
Nice.
Part of what I do when bringing people on board is part of my background is in education. I was a teacher, technology teacher for about 10 years. And sure, it's easy to talk about. Okay, you're going to make 10x gain, 100x gain, and sure, they eat that up, like dessert. But I also like to bring things back to reality, and I like to make the example of when you're learning a new sport like basketball, football, you're going to fall down, you're going to get bruised up, and it's going to hurt a little. You might even bleed a little bit. But when it comes to crypto, since it's a finance related thing, you're going to lose some money. So you need to be prepared that you might lose some funds when learning the ropes of crypto. Sure, you might go up, but you also have to accept the volatility that you might go down, 50, 70%. So I try and make them aware that, yes, there's a lot of gains to be had, but you need to be mentally prepared, for bleeding out, some funds, and you might need to go back into your bank account and reach out, and maybe forego going out to go clubbing or a movie or that vacation you had. You need to be prepared for accepting some losses, unrealized losses, and, be prepared to put in some more funds, because it's not an easy roller coaster. And those who hang on the longest, those are the ones who usually come out on top.
Yeah, and just make sure the money that you're losing is Starbucks money, cigar money, and not your rent money. All right, let's move along into the next one. So we talked a little bit about the scams and the clicking the buttons and sticking your seed phrases and keys into things that you shouldn't be sticking them into. What are the key indicators of a legitimate and promising blockchain project versus a scam? Now,
if I was to
jump into, I just want to say something real quick. Now, you can lose money on things that aren't scams. So let's first put that out there. Not everything that you lose money on is a scam. Not everything that goes down to damn near nothing is a scam. Sometimes they're not adequately backed up by the founders. Sometimes they have bad code. Sometimes the community itself doesn't have confidence in the whales don't have confidence in the product, and liquidity gets pulled, those kinds of things. There are all kinds of things that aren't scams that can lose you money. So don't think that just because you find a great project that is legitimate, that is good, that you're always going to make money and not be devoid of serious risk of something not ever going up to where you've wanted it to. So keep that in mind first, and then I'll let you guys get into what does look like a scam or what is a scam.
I think the biggest indicator to me of, is this a scam is how public is the founder. If you have a founder who never puts their face on the screen, maybe never even shows up in a voice chat, there's a much higher probability that it's a scam. I'm not saying it always is, because sometimes it's not, but like out of, you know, all the scams that I've seen, very rarely is the actual founder present, available for you to talk to, and on the screen somewhere talking about the protocol that they're launching. There seems to be a large correlation between anonymous founders and scams.
Yes.
You hit the nail on the head with that one. That's one of that. See, when you asked that question, RG, my first thing that popped in my head was literally like, is everyone doxxed? Is the team doxxed? Is the founder doxxed? Right? Can you see their face? Are they actively trying to do something with the community? Right?
How long
There's
have they been
another
around and active in the community? You know,
Exactly.
our community is a great indicator of that, because we have such an organic, close-knit community that you have every opportunity in the world to jump out there and get involved with the community and show who you are and get on these streams. I mean, we have an open stream where anybody can come on a Friday night. You know, I mean, it's easy for you to go out and try and build trust within the community. Now, that's not saying that somebody can't be going out there building trust and faking the funk and, you know, making, you know, a play on everybody that way. We've seen that happen too. But I think, yeah, you're right with it as far as the indicators, you know, showing your face.
I'll piggyback on that, and go ahead. Yeah, I'll piggyback on that, and it's those personal connections. I was in crypto for about 2 years, maybe 3 years, until I saw the Pulse Chain tour coming around, and I said, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to go and see what it's about, you know, after being in it for a while. And even though you see people online doing streams on Twitter, once you get to shake people's hands, you know, and just see those nuances of how they interact with other people, that really is a big leap forward in how you can trust people and projects. So yeah, making that personal connection is a huge, huge difference. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have dived in deeply into Pulse Chain otherwise. So yeah, making some sort of relationship, even if it's online, you know, if you're on Twitter or Telegram, if you're able to reach out and get a hold of a moderator, you know, if you're lucky, a dev, but yeah, making those personal connections, having something to contribute, and having someone to learn from, that's a big plus.
Yeah, community, right? And with what you're talking about there, is something that you need to know about communities when you go looking for them. So number one is energy, right? Energy and passion. Is the community of people legitimately like excited about, you know, this project, or excited about the meme coin, whatever it is, right? Are they? Well, sometimes you can get bots that are like, oh, yay. They're talking to each other saying, oh, looking forward to this. Can't wait. Yay, yeah. And then it's like, they just have some gifts or whatever, like money. And it's like, it's not real people. Because as soon as you start like, hey, are there any streamers? You know, does anybody want to have, you know, like a hangout? Does anybody want to go do a spaces on X? You know, those bots obviously are not going to show up, right? And so that's the other aspect of it is kindness, right? You know, reaching out to others within that community and being part of it. And I think you can basically do this within a week, right? If you know, do all your checks and balances and you're like, okay, you know what? I think this is a good one. You can then vet the community itself by simply trying to say, hey, come on my show, or let's do a spaces together. Heck, you know, you're in Texas, I'm in Texas. Let's go meet up and have a good time, right? And yeah, that kind of outreach, I think, is absolutely vital. And if you're seeing a lot of that going on, you know that whatever token, meme coin, right, project, whatever it is that you're trying to figure out if it's good or not, you know it's going to at least have the best chance of survival, because nothing is ever a guarantee, but at least you can up your chances. And in crypto, ultimately, when trying to predict the future of whether you're going to make it or not, if you're going to pick a winner, you want to up that percentage of whether yes or no it's going to survive or do well.
And to quickly add on to that, so we've outlined having a docs founder or more public founder. We've had scenarios where we've got community. I'll also add things like documentation if we're going through different layers of defense and different levels. Okay, what does the solution protocol token do? What is its underlying purpose? Or, you know, did this website and community just pop up last night and they're shilling really hard on Twitter and chats? So you could just a little basis and critical thinking and just quickly skimming through this stuff will help you rule out pretty quickly, hey, this is just a quick value extraction money grab, or this is actually a team, a community, a culture with some level of purpose and broader vision where they're trying to help everyone else find a certain level of success.
Yeah, and hot chicks and music stars too. Remember that rock stars and hot chicks can be an indicator of you may be looking at a scam. Not always. Shout out to our new what's her name, Latina Liberty, that just showed up and everybody jumped all over. She got an introduction today. Welcome to the community, and I spoke with her husband too. Good folks and supporters of Pulse Chain. So really glad to have them on board. Real quick on that, I would like to say, like Fast Abdoul here, he has his own projects. When he first came on the scene, I was like, this dude is wrong, man. There's a problem here. This guy is shady. He's got issues. He is, if something's going to happen, this guy right here is going to do it. Right. So watching his projects, from afar, then getting closer, dealing with them in the back rooms, with business, and whatnot. And then getting to meet him more than once, twice around the world. We've become friends, and he's become a trusted confidant. I understand him now. I understand who he is and what he does. And he's just a great guy. And having a person like that with the skills, the knowledge, the intelligence that he has, and knowing who they are, just boosts your confidence in where this chain is going and who's behind it and some of the people that are building on it. And I owe that to the conference. I want to thank Liquid Loans for coming out there and doing the same. Look, if you were worried about any projects and you wanted to meet these people, if you came to the Pulse Chain Tour event, and again, not just like showing the event, this is a tool for you to use. This is a tool for you to get involved and find out what is a better. So if you learn who these people are, if you become friends with them, if you talk to them, if you see what they're about, what they're trying to do, and how they're aligned with what Richard is doing here, then you'd feel the same way, and you'd be able to instill that confidence and pass that trust along to your onboards. So we've got Liquid Loans, 9inch, SolidX, Access Alive, DeFi Wealth Trust was there, Project Pi. Those guys are just freaking phenomenal. I love those guys and the hard work that they're doing. The Pulse Chain Foundation, the Pulse Chain Foundation and what they're actually doing. The founders and everybody were there. Actuator, the Grace Currency, the Pulse Chain Cabal, Spark Swap, Cryptographics, who's sitting here right now. Again, another one that we got to meet. Who else? I got a list here. Pulse Entertainment with Tyson, Crypto Ape. He's the guy that put all of the stuff together for us. I'm sorry, Gaphix, right? I keep saying Graph. Up Token, Dollar Cost, of course, Discourse Syndicate, KSB, and Cultivate Crypto, who's Charlie with DCC. All those people were there for you to meet. We're there for you to talk to, ask questions, watch how shifty their eyes are, see what kind of a person they are. That's what these in-person meetups are for, so that you can get confidence and build trust in the community amongst one another. So yeah, thanks for answering that question that way, guys. It really brings it in. I'll let you, anybody else want to throw anything else in there?
Thanks for your kind words, sir. I think we beat that horse to death.
Okay. Here's the next question then. What makes Pulse Chain a compelling blockchain for newcomers compared to other chains in the space?
Low fees is a huge thing. Like, it's so much cheaper than Ethereum, and it has such a better community where you can you can learn and become part of the community and grow with us, right? I don't think you could say that about everywhere else. Go ahead, Nate.
There's a lot of fun things about it too, like if you think about Phantom, right? Phantom was a lot of fun because it was like the whole haunted house spooky thing, right? And Pulse Chain has a lot of that going on. Think about like Steakhouse, the Bistro, you got Ink Printer, right? Which I think somebody is launching that here real soon. I don't know, maybe the fastest camel trader ever.
Yeah, maybe on Tuesday. No guarantees.
We got the greenest logo, in all of crypto, which of course is ink. And then we've got, the cool the blue colors, and then we got the red colors, and it's just really colorful stuff. We have these buy and burns and incredible technology that keeps getting created. Overall, you could always say, low fees, fast. One of the issues that I run into oftentimes with this type of question is, okay, Solana can do that too. And Solana's the popular one right now, So you got to ask the question, well, okay, that's attractive, right? Like, it's attractive, but maybe Solana can do it as well. Maybe Base makes Ethereum, that same sort of deal. So why do people want to come over here instead? So number one, fun, right? But number two, it is definitely the community, and the community is the absolute strong point. When we're talking about how welcoming, welcome to Pulse Chain, we love you, right? When we're talking about this type of deal, what we're saying is, hey, all you need to do is simply reach out, people. Like, if you want to talk to RG right here, you can literally just go on the Telegram or X or wherever, just be like, hey, I am new to this L1, and I'm interested in this type of staking over here, and I was wondering where I could get yields for that. And I can tell you right now that, RG, you would love to start telling someone, hey, you're going to want to go here, you're going to want to go here. You're going to love that type of thing. I want to go ahead and do a little anecdotal experience that I had, and really prove to me, set in stone, just how important this is. Now, Sonic had just started up, right? And Sonic is the new improvement over Phantom. Okay, I'd moved everything over onto Sonic. I'm like, all right, now I'm ready to go start playing around. And I decided, okay, since I really don't know what's out there right now, I'm going to need just a little bit of a starting point, something just as a base level, put my stake here and then start going. So I asked in the chat, hey, where do you guys suggest starting and looking around? And they're like, well, just start exploring the chain, and good luck. And of course, I was talking about how that didn't help at all. And I ended up getting banned. I got banned in that Telegram because I got a little bit upset at the fact that nobody was helping me with anything. And I'm like, this is the reason why Pulse Chain is better. And I got banned. So it's that type of community outreach. Okay. If somebody got on the ball, like at this point, I expect everybody here in Pulse Chain to do, because you guys have proven it to me over and over and over again. If I go into any of these Telegram chats, like, hey, where do you think I should start? I know that, whatever it is, you're gonna be like, go here, go here, go here, go to Pulse. The first place you want to go is Pulse X, right? And you're gonna start talking about stuff immediately. It's because you and everybody else here, right? We love this chain so much. It's because we have this grouping together. It's because we're like this. And they chased me off of Sonic. I'll go over there and monkey around with a couple of things, but I'm not going to go spend most of my time over there right now, because I really don't care. I'd rather be here in Pulse Chain. I think there's a better opportunity to make money, but I also think that the community overall is just so much better. Just being here, being with all of you here today, right? This is something that they don't even do over there, and we are doing it right now. So this is the best place to be.
Nice. Well, I think that the Pulse Chain simplifies the onboarding process, and it allows us to continue to use the Ethereum-based tools, so it's familiar to the rest of crypto. So I think that's it's positives and why it's going to be more popular as things move on. Solana was popular not because of Solana, but because of the meme generation. The little meme issue that we just dealt with. So I'm not going to count it up to being a better L1 or anything, but anyway. So I'll move on to the next question. How do decentralized finance platforms differ from traditional investment methods, and what opportunities do they present? Jump in again real quick and just say, being of the certain age that I am, very familiar with investment tools, market fluctuations, and market pitfalls, perils, and positives that are out there. The DeFi, what it allows, there's nothing new under the sun. None of these things are new. However, they've never been presented in this form before. There are market sentiments actually baked into the code, which if traditional investors start to understand and realize these tools and how they're baked in, that's when we're going to really see mass adoption, is when people understand that DeFi is really just all of the negative externalities of regular finance trading taken out and positive externalities added in to your investments. And that's when we're really going to start seeing things move up, in my opinion. So I'll let you guys take that one away.
So from my perspective as a user, it's the freedom that I get. I'm cutting out the middleman for a huge chunk of this. It's myself and the protocol, or myself and the community. And you're going to hear that word come up repeatedly over tonight's conversation, community. In this case, I know, RG, you were saying like, sometimes things fail, not because it's a rug, but hey, doing this correctly at times can be very, very difficult. So aside from that, I look at blockchain crypto adoption in my personal life. It's a path to ultimate freedom, but with that also comes a whole hefty dose of responsibility. It's up to me to, again, reach out and take a look at some of these founders, see if they're doxed or not, read through some of the documentation or not, try to take a look at how that protocol is held up over time, or if it's a brand new protocol, how's it looking under certain audits or the like. But outside of that, I can look around, and in many ways, it's like a very open marketplace. I can kind of shop around for a sort of DeFi applications and like, and try to figure out what's the best opportunity or best deal for me, myself, and I. So I appreciate that I don't have to go down the street and file a bunch of paperwork potentially to move my money around, or have an issue of, hey, I want to close my account. What do you mean my money is not mine? You're not letting me withdraw, and I have to give you some sort of written justification. What kind of garbage is this? No, I have the freedom to go do what I want to do. So too do I have that match with a healthy dose of responsibility.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and sorry. Real quick, I'll just throw this one out here, right? Because this is anecdotal again. It's like I'm looking to take out a loan, okay? And there's a whole like 2-week long process of paperwork and everything I got to file and able to take this loan out, right? But if I want to throw this money into, like, say, crypto, and it's like, wow, 2 weeks is a long time in crypto. That's kind of ridiculous. Whereas if I wanted to take out a loan and I had a bunch of ink, I could literally just put it in the ink printer. Bam, I got a loan right away. So what you're talking about, Twinkie, is absolutely 100% correct. And I'm sorry, Abdoul, I interrupted you twice.
No problem. I think you hit it on the head with the concept of when you're involved with proper decentralized crypto protocols, you take out the middleman, and usually all of the middleman's employees that he was charging you for. So it's like it's between you and the blockchain. You can be your own bank, or you can be your own store, like depending on the nature of the protocol, right? You're taking out a lot of middlemen that would have taken a cut of your profits with traditional finance in any way, shape, or form. And I think that is one of the main advantages of decentralized crypto versus traditional finance.
Yeah, absolutely. Being your own custodian. I've been onboarding people for about a year now, and I sort of stumbled into a new niche where I'm starting this offshoot called cryptoforcollege.me because I have kids and I know people who have kids. And I think to myself, how am I going to afford sending kids to college? And boom, here comes the Hex staking ladders that people can make. So as opposed to, putting your money in like a Fidelity, college fund making 5-7% a year, you can do a lot better with being your own bank. Basically, there are tons of farms and liquidity pools that you can get into and make a lot better percentage gains than you can with traditional FI. So Pulse Chain is like a dream come true, for people who are thinking long term. Because if you have kids who are going to be in college, you have 5-10 years before they get there. So just imagine how many bull cycles you're going to be waiting through. And by the end of those cycles, your kid is going to be doing pretty well with not having to repay any of those college loans.
Unless you already got kids in college, you're cashing out now.
Start a small business.
All right. Anybody else, or move on to the next one? Okay. Here's an easy one. This is kind of just going to be a plethora of imaginary or of horribles. What are the most common mistakes you see new investors making in the crypto space?
Do you want a list? You said this was an easy question.
Well, I mean, there's so many little mistakes, little pitfalls, and big mistakes. Maybe we should start off with some of the bigger ones. I would say one of the biggest mistakes that new investors make is security. Is not protecting their seed phrases. I'll give you just an example. One of my onboards. We had somebody went and visit them, and they called me and said, "Hey, your boy." I go over to his house, and on a yellow sticky note, he's got his seed words on his screen on his computer. And I said, "What? Did you teach him how to handle his seed words and stuff?" Because they were literally just sticky noted on his computer. I said, "Oh my gosh!" So it's the simple security things right off the bat. I think the security of your seed phrases, not clicking on, or understanding and knowing that there is no. I want everybody to understand that there is no tech support in crypto. There isn't any. They won't DM you. They won't contact you. They won't email you. They won't text you, and they won't call you. There is no tech support. So don't listen to anybody who says that they are tech support in crypto. I think that's like the number one big simple things.
I see a lot of people just being too excited and mashing the buttons, right? So that one of the things I tell people most often is slow down, press the button slowly, read everything. And they end up doing, dumb stuff that anybody could do if they're not paying attention, like sending funds to a contract address for a coin, right? Like because you copied the wrong address because you were pressing the buttons too fast, right? Or like trying to set liquidity in the wrong ranges because you didn't read everything before you press the button. Those kind of would seem like simple things to us. They're not simple to a new person, and they're excited to be here. So like slow down, press the button slowly, read everything on the screen before you press the button. I think that's an important lesson.
Not bridging, sending the wrong crypto to the wrong chain, and it disappearing in a wallet that may or may not ever see those coins again.
Agreed.
Guilty.
With what you're saying there, Abdoul, that kind of sounds like a mindset type of thing. Now, one of the things that I have noticed with a lot of newbies, this usually happens right around the peaks of the bull, right? But it's generally the excitement, right? People are trying to go fast, but it's also the idea, the mindset that, hey, I'm going to get in for I'm going to throw like $100 in, and then 3 months later it's going to be $1 million, right? Okay, first off, if you can find a coin that does that, please, I would like to get into that one. But secondly, that does not happen. Okay, like the 0.001% perhaps has that. It's a unicorn. And so when people start trying to get into crypto and I'm onboarding someone brand new, I tell them, hey, now what you need to think about is you are going to be holding this for a few years. Okay, this isn't you get into it and then it magically goes up in a couple of months and now you're retired. That's not how this works. You hear those stories, but there's a reason why you hear those stories. It's because they're that rare. Okay, that's the reason why people tell stories. 99% of people who don't tell a story are the ones who got wrecked, right? Or just actually played out the cycle. And ultimately, that's what it is that we're trying to do, is we're trying to play out cycles. And so when I'm telling new people that, hey, you're going to be getting in for a few years here, hold on to your nuts and don't let go of them, right? It's more of the idea that I'm trying to put in their mind is, if you want to get retired, what you want to do is get into crypto, but you need to hold for years instead of, like, say, the stock market, which is going to be 30 years if you're lucky. Then maybe you can retire off that. And that's if you're putting a lot in and working a lot. Or maybe you could put it in the bonds. Good luck ever getting retiring on that, right? What you need is, or real estate's another one where I think that one takes usually up to 20 years or so, depending on how much capital you can continually move into it, right? Whereas crypto is say 4 years, maybe 8 years, right? It's by far the fastest way that you will be able to retire, but you have to have a certain mindset and able to actually achieve this. Otherwise, you're just going to get wrecked like everyone else. And that's usually when people get wrecked like that, because they have that quick cheating mindset of just staying in a couple months and getting out. Unfortunately, those are the people who say, this crypto thing is a scam. I'm getting out of it. I'm never going back to it again. And then those people have a hard life after that, trying to figure out, how am I going to get retired now? It's like, you had it. You had it right there, man. You just needed just a little bit different of a mindset, just a little bit different. And you could have succeeded,
Another thing I'm guilty of is chasing those green candles. You see the price going up and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to throw in this large stack, this large wad. And you put it in and then it comes back down and you're like, what? I got to wait another month to get another large stack. And I would do that. The next month comes in, I see the green candles, throw in another large wad. Nope, came back down. And it was only after months and months and months that I learned to just DCA, maybe go in easy, every week, every 2 weeks, and just put in a little bit. And then you'll get more gains that way instead of just trying to make it all your money at once. You got to go in slowly over a long term. And I think now I'm down to about daily. I think most people are, down to about daily or every few days DCAing, just because these small incremental steps can get you a lot more than just shooting your wad off once.
Yeah, I think there's a popular or an important suggestion here to those of us who are onboarding and those of us who are being onboarded. If you're being onboarded, you need to hold the person accountable to teaching you the ropes. And if you're bringing somebody in and being accountable to them and bringing them in, you need to be accountable for showing them the ropes. I think that, establishing that relationship right up front, if you decide to do that, and I have a hard time with it because, in the beginning when, back in 2014, 15, when I was like running wild, telling everybody about crypto, I wanted everybody to get into crypto. I wanted, by about 2017, I was like, I don't want to fucking get anybody else into crypto. Forget it. Please, bull run, don't come, because my phone's going to start ringing and it's going to be, how do I get Shiba Inu and dick with butt and all this other shit. And, they won't listen to what I'm having to say anyway. Please don't call me. So the few people that I do continue to onboard, I take that accountability and that responsibility seriously, and I hold them to the same thing. Hey, don't do anything without asking me first. Don't do anything on your own until you've done the right research, or I've pointed you in the right direction to do the research. So take accountability for one another, and make sure that relationship is established right up front, because one simple little mistake, and somebody can lose a fortune. And I've seen it happen amongst friends, where people have lost, $500,000 because of a mistake that was made. And that is a hard thing to deal with, especially with friends, family, and whatnot. So I think there's a big responsibility here on both sides to make sure that if you are onboarding or being onboarded, that you make that relationship understood.
Captain, I got one quick one. Yeah, I just want one quick one on that one. Familiarity will often breed complacency. Going back to your friends sitting there like, oh, they've got some sticky note over there, or Abdoul saying, hey, they get excited and they're clicking through, and so if you find yourself being familiar with something, don't be complacent. And personally, as much as possible, I try to interact with the different blockchains, Pulse Chain, my wallet, through intent, not habit. I try to have good habits, but ultimately I try to do everything very intentionally.
Yeah. It's the worst call is when you know that your onboard has done something that is irreversible and you have to tell them, and they call you, hey, I did this. Is there? And you're like, oh shit, here we go. I got to tell them this is the heartbreak right here. Nope. You're screwed. You're done. It's over. There's nothing you can do. You sent that money to the dead address or whatever, it's not coming back ever. So anyway, switch it up real quick because we're running a little close on time here. Two questions are kind of related the same. So what are some of the reliable tools or platforms that Pulse Chain users can leverage for portfolio management or tracking trends? I think we should put the links to some of those here in the chat for people. So we'll try and do that. SJ will take notes.
Well, my number one is DBank. I always go to DBank. I just kind of check it daily. You know, just looking at my portfolio in general, because you can make like bundles on there, right? So I can like take all my wallets and throw them together. Just checking out your portfolio and how much you've gained or lost will automatically give you a pretty good sentiment read on what's going on with the with the market. So that's step one. But you know, also you're gonna need something like, say, a dex screener. You know, GoPulse.com was a Pulse coins list. Something like that, right? You can actually go and check out the charts and see after you've looked at your portfolio and seen that you lost, you know, you went down like 50%. You're like, whoa, what happened there? You're able to go check out your coins and see what the heck happened, and then get excited because then you can buy more, right?
It's going to be tax season in the US. So I have a good chunk of my information synced up to Coinly, which I use for double duty. One is for overall tax management purposes, so I can see how I'm shaping up over the course of the year. The other part is for a quick view. You will use it just as a quick at a glance sort of portfolio health type tool. But similar to Nate, I also use DBank a fair bit.
And just to let everybody know, on the Coinly issue, governments and government entities that are monitoring you, or you're doing taxes as a residency of somewhere else, Coinly is the go-to application that they use, that they basically authorize you to use to send them the information that they need once you declare your wallets being, you know, residentially in a different country or whatnot, if you are doing that kind of thing. So Coinly is kind of like an authorized platform.
Any idea about cryptotaxcalculator.io? That's one I've been playing around with, and yeah, it has very good history, you know, into your trades, you know, your history, what you bought something at, you know, what are your gains, what are your losses. That one I found to be yeah, pretty thorough with things, especially with Pulse Chain, because it's such a DeFi chain. Not everything is on there, but I kind of like that. You know, we have to put in, go dig and see, oh, what was the price on, you know, April 5th, 2000, I don't know, 15 or so. But yes, having a way to track, you know, what you've gained, what you've lost is very important. And another one is Internet Money Wallet. That one is definitely undervalued in the eco space. Now they do have a onboarding tool where you can use a debit card or other tools to get money onto Pulse Chain. But that's what I use for my onboards. I have them download Internet Money Wallet, and they can see what the current price is and their current portfolio. And yeah, if they stake some, is it time? Yeah, I believe it's time. Then they also get some Pulse coins back.
Nice.
Hey, go ahead, Captain.
Oh, I was just gonna throw Hex Scout in there too. I like Hex Scout monitoring my my stakes. Awesome tool for doing so.
Yeah, that's a good one. I enjoy hexfire.io by Crispy Man.
Yep.
As far as data on Hex goes, it gives you like institutional grade data and analytics on anything you can think of with Hex, and lots of things that you haven't thought of that Crispy Man has. It really gives you like a 360-degree view of all the data on Hex. So that's my go-to there. And it's not just Hex. Like, he covers a lot of other stuff. He covers a lot of P copies on Pulse Chain, and he goes deep into, you know, into the details, into the weeds of what's happening with liquidity and strange little pockets. I find that to be, for high-level users, that is a great place to turn to.
An extremely analytical site. And Crispy is a cigar aficionado and my good friend. And thanks for the cigars, Crispy.
He's pretty sharp too.
Yeah, one of the sharpest we have. Okay, let's switch it back to the second part of this question. Then we're going to be wrapping it up. What are the tools, platforms, or resources? What tools, platforms, and resources are essential for developers and builders in the blockchain ecosystem, and what makes Pulse Chain an attractive platform for developers and builders? I know that we've got a couple of you here that can answer that question.
In regards to like what special tools do we have that other chains have? Well, none, generally speaking. But what we do have is community, and there's a community of builders on the Pulse chain that help each other out. And I don't think you would find that if you hopped over to base and you're like, has anybody ever done a balancer fork? Do you think you could help me make one? I don't think anybody's going to put their hands up. And if they do, it's a scammer. They will give you detailed instructions, but it won't result in what you want. So Pulse Chain is fantastic for that. There's a builders guild run by KG from Internet Money, and there's a huge amount of support there.
Yeah, same with Sonic too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're not there to help you. Anybody else?
Anybody else?
I would say YouTube is also underrepresented. You know, you look for streamers of other chains, and there's maybe a handful, but with Pulse Chain, we've got dozens and dozens of streamers dedicated to just not only the core coins, but their own sub communities. So I think that is a big nod to just how dedicated people are to Pulse Chain.
True. And the community, like not just the community of builders, but the community in general makes Pulse Chain a great place to look at for builders looking to launch things in crypto, because you can get the eyes of community members. If you bring something good to Pulse Chain, if you've launched on another chain and you're watching this and you're looking for the next place to launch and you want to be able to talk to the community will talk to you and they will support you if you're honest and you have a good product. So that is a huge advantage over other chains that are just, like they're just not connected enough with their communities to be able to get like a cohesive movement with any protocol. You basically need VCs on any other chain except for Pulse Chain. On Pulse Chain, the community are the VCs.
Nice. Well, that segues into the last question here. We'll wrap it up with this. What is one actionable step that the audience can take today to get involved in the blockchain revolution? And I'll say that, what I think is that you need to connect. You need to, if you have, if you're new, connect with the people here, connect with the people on stream here, connect with the people at the events, connect with people in the Telegram rooms. Look for big communities. Don't find small groups or DMs to go and try and get your information. Look for big parts of the community that are out there speaking in general. Educate yourself. If you are somebody who's already in the blockchain, in the ecosystem, educate yourself even more so that you can educate your onboards that you're going to be bringing on. And if you are somebody who is advanced, go educate, get out there, start a stream, do something to get people on the same level as you. Share your information, share your knowledge. That's the one thing that I know about this community is that, I used to see Telegram groups where people would be sharing information just so that they can rug them or they can use them as exit liquidity. And that's not what's going on here. Everybody here wants everybody to succeed. And by helping others, the byproduct of helping others in this space, especially in this community, is we all go up, we all succeed. And I think that's, what we need to focus on is everybody getting themselves connected and up to a level of education where you can be the onboarder and the educator.
Yeah, I'll add to that, Captain. I would say see one, do one, teach one under those guidelines. So many of the folks watching here tonight, they're going to have had some familiarity with DeFi, Pulse Chain, wallets, bridges, and the like. We're going to have some folks who have never done any of this at all. So you have the opportunity to see one, poke around some of those YouTube channels, poke around some of those different sites. Do one. Get yourself feet wet. Don't necessarily YOLO your life savings into it right off the bat. Control that rate of flow on that one. So just in case if you do slip up, you don't take yourself down, you don't zero yourself out. As you become more familiar, as you were mentored, so too should you mentor someone. And that's a great way, I think, to organically build the community out over time. We were all taught and assisted along our paths. So too, in turn, are we doing what we can to assist others and continue to push things outward and help whoever follows us.
That's incredibly well said. That's actually kind of the direction I was going to go. Now, for me, though, I decided that it was okay to pay someone, to pay for a mentor. I think that's something that a lot of people, they tend to, tend to not really go after it, right? We have so much free information nowadays in this information age that we have a tendency to think, oh, it's free on YouTube, I can just go do that, right? However, do you have that ability to be able to disseminate what's good information, what's bad information, right? And unfortunately, I got wrecked in 2021 because of that. Instead, all you find is people shilling stuff. So you definitely want to try and pay for a mentor. Now, obviously, be skeptical of your mentor, right? If you're going to be giving, handing out money to some guy trying to teach you about crypto, try to figure out whether it's helping you or not. If it's helping you, then continue on. All right. But if it's not, then move on to somebody else. Be in and out very quickly. Be careful of very expensive ones off the bat. My $10,000 crypto course. Like, I don't know about that. How about something as simple as $100 a month Telegram group, right? Private Telegram group. Maybe that'll work, right? It's only $100 a month, right? Are you going to learn? Or are you not? And exactly as you said, Twinkie, when you get into those places too, more than likely you're going to have more than just one student in these types of areas, and it's not going to be just you. And as you become more and more a part of that community, then you're going to start noticing that you're going to have gone from people having these walls of text that you're like, I have no clue what this means, to you typing out these walls of text yourself, and then people are asking you questions, and then you're able to teach them as well, and the cycle starts again, right? So yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, Twinkie, on that one. It's again, it's funny how we just keep going back to community, right? It's just community is so unbelievably important, and technically speaking, that is kind of what this cycle is all about. That's the technology of this cycle. But I won't go into that because otherwise I will probably rant for a good half an hour or so, just like one of my videos on my channel. I'll pass it on to the next person.
I'll give a two-part answer for this. So for those who are not in crypto, I would look at who the big streamers or the influencers are in post chain, or if you're on somewhere else, you can look over there too. But in post chain, look who the big leaders are, and you can try messaging them. Sometimes it may not get through just because those big leaders do get a lot of messages. But maybe look for those who are in the middle tier. Not the top, not the bottom, but those who have, a pretty decent following. They show up on a regular basis. Reach out to them and say, hey, I'm new here. I want to learn. What can I do? And that could be a good first step. Now, for those who are veterans, those who have been here for a few years, I would say reach out to a no coiner and send them $1 in posts. Set up a wallet for them. Tell them, hey, download this wallet. I'm going to send you $1 worth of posts, and I want you to do your own research. I'm going to recommend these, but do your own research and just try it. What can you lose with this $1 that I gave you? And check up on them, a month later. Hey, how did that go? Did you go up? Did you go down? Okay, let's see what the next month is. And I'm pretty sure that within, a decent time frame, they're going to say, whoa, I think I better put in more than just $1. I see some big potential on here. So that's one easy thing that we all can do.
Very good. I think like for new people who are joining a community, once you get the ropes, the biggest thing you can do to participate, especially at this time in the market cycle, is pick a hero, in this, who has a social media platform that supports what you believe in, and support them. So like for, the Pulse chain, a lot of that happens on Twitter. You should be liking, sharing, commenting on posts of the people that you believe in, and actually read the posts. You're learning as part of the process. If you actively support something and you actively participate in getting the word out there, you're much more likely to learn yourself than if you're just trying to garner data just for yourself. Like, become a community member, support the community, and you'll pick up so much more information. People will start to notice you. You'll start to be able to ask people and be like, oh, I've seen you around. Yes, I'll help you with that, right? And you'll get a feeling for who the players are and which ones have your best interests in mind.
Nice. Real quick, I'll say, want to answer somebody in the chat room real quick, and then throw some shout outs, and then end it here. I appreciate you guys coming. Benjamin 369. I want to tell you that there's something about being out here as long as we've been out here and dealing with what we've been dealing with. that may appear that some of us streamers that have been around for a long time don't care about the little guy, and that's not the truth, because we were the little guy too, and we don't feel like we're big guys. We feel like we're still the little guy, only we're a little more roughed up. We're a lot more scarred. We've been beaten down by you name it, everybody from our families to the crypto space to regulators to you guys in particular. And we may seem a little rough on the exterior sometimes, and maybe not catering to the little guy. We can do better, and I'm not saying that your comment isn't unfounded. I'm just saying that maybe look at the other side of the story, as we should look at the other side of the story too, and become better. I think we all need to become better. But I want to show a shout out to Somi, Hexo, DCC and Charlie, Crypto Coffee, Maddie, all the people that have been out there working hard, Crispy, and streaming, Axis Alive, all the guys that have been out there doing this from the early days, that have taken the punches, that have taken the hills, that have gone out and done the things that need to be done to help build this community. They did it without asking for anything. They did it because they wanted to help grow this chain and grow this community, because they knew how important it is. We talk about how important it is. Well, you got to have guys like that out there doing it. And sometimes it gets overwhelming, and sometimes it gets real hard to speak to the people that are out there listening. So yes, keep us on our toes. Yes, keep firing at us, but do it with respect, please. And know that these people have put in some hard work, as all the guys here. And I want to say thank you to Twinkie. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, having your rational, brilliant mind out there in the open, speaking to people is a breath of fresh air for me. I've always said that better streamers, better people are going to come to the space and bring quality products. Nate, I can't say enough about you and the DGen Roundtable for always stepping up to the plate and helping out Discourse Syndicate and doing the things that you do, and your lovely wife. Thank you for making the PLS 369 what it was. If it was not for your wife, we wouldn't have had that event go off as smooth as it did go. Gaphix has been nice getting to know you, and another rational mind, another brilliant mind coming into this space and speaking, and it has been a pleasure, and thanks for coming and being part of the panel. And Fast, I'm glad you didn't turn out to be what I thought you were, and I'm glad to say that I'm happy that the things that you're doing, the products that you're bringing to the Pulse chain are irreplaceable and necessary, and you're doing the things that we need done. So, and also thanks for becoming my friend over the last year here, coming to our events, supporting our events, and being there, showing your face, and talking to the people. You really is a testament to the things that you're doing, how you act, and how you are in public. So I appreciate you all. And thank you for coming, guys. We will catch you on the next one. Everybody, effing Hangout is still going to be on. We're going to do it at about 7:30. And again, that's your stream. Everybody can come on in. You guys want to come back on too, you're welcome to. But any last words real quick?
Glad to be here. Thanks, Captain.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for having us, man.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. For everybody out there, thank you for being a part of the best community in the world, in all of crypto. And I'm looking forward to many more years having people like you around, because I think we're going to be a lot bigger in the coming years. And I look forward to it.
Yeah. All right.
Now's the time.
Hollow Titanium Moon. Thanks everybody for coming. We'll let's see if I can do this without screwing things up here. I know I'm not. I just probably SJ, throw something out there. Thank you.
Woohoo!
Oh, was that it?
I'll try.